The story of handles began back in 2022. This buck showed up in late October and was a stud 8. Just thinking he was another buck cruising through the property, we did not pay much attention to him. And after he started to show up almost every night, we started to really focus on him. The 2023 shed season started off on a good note. Finding lots of sheds, we really focused on trying to find his sheds, but not coming across them really made us wonder if he had moved to a different property or even died of natural causes. Going into the 2023 deer season, there was no sign of him. We started to worry he would never be seen again, and finally in late October, we got a picture of a nice deer, and we instantly knew it was him. Knowing he was an old deer with not much growth from 2022, we decided to put him at the top of our hit list. After we got to looking at his rack, we decided to give him the name Handles. After we really decided to put our focus on this deer, we implemented some scrapes to try to get him patterned. He started hammering the scrapes and made this area his home range. Then the real hunt began. With him only showing up at night and coming from the hills, we knew we had to switch it up and to hunt him from a different spot. On the morning of November 5th, we decided to make a move and sit on the biggest hill of the property and try to glass him up. When he didn't show on our cameras he was frequent at every night, we knew he had to be locked down with a doe somewhere in the hills. We decided to wait until the sun was up before we walked in, just in case he was bedded closer to the road than we thought. Luckily he was not, and we got all set up undetected. After glassing for an hour and a half without seeing a deer, we began to think that our plan was a failure. The frustration started to kick in, and I began telling Max, stalking a whitetail is about impossible and there's no way this will ever work. Not even 30 seconds later, with the last effort glass of the hills, I caught a glimpse of antlers shining in the sun. We quickly realized it was Handles. With the spot he was in being a wide open area, we knew it was going to be a challenge, but it was worth a shot.
Well, we just spotted up our shooter. We just spotted up our shooter buck here, so I'm gonna go put a stalk on him. That's how this works. He's bedded down with the tail. 200 yards over there. 400 yards over there. Oh, it's farther than we thought, but I'm gonna try to sneak in from the backside and get him. Max to get a video from here. We're gonna get aggressive and see what happens, so we'll let you know.
Leaving Max on the hill behind the camera, I took off and began to stalk.
There.
After sneaking into a bottom where I was clear of the deer's vision, I slowly snuck into position behind a small cedar. I ranged him at 94 yards. Patiently I waited and waited. He finally got up and went over by his doe. After a while, he bedded again. I was not comfortable with a 94-yard shot, so I knew I had to reposition. I began to belly crawl backwards to get back into the bottom where I was safe from their vision. Not having much to hide behind, I set my eyes on one small cedar tree. Once I got to the small cedar, I knew he had to be in range. I peeked around the cedar, and there he was. I ranged him at 36 yards. Then the patience factor kicked in again, but to my surprise, not even 15 minutes later, he stood up perfectly broadside. The adrenaline began to kick in. With my wind beginning to switch, and now blowing right to the right of them, I knew I had to take my shot. I drew back and let it fly. I knew I had got a good hit on him after he stumbled off. Max called and said his doe ran over the next hill and he was not with her. After finding my arrow coated in blood, but not finding much of a blood trail, we decided to give him some time. After an hour of waiting, we began the search. After losing blood, we began to grid search, but we came up empty-handed. I was not about to give up, so I crawled, finding speck by speck, heading towards the neighbors. Dad decided to check one last grassy patch, and there he lay.
Baby, let's go. You got it, Dad? The blood.
Getting my hands on this deer felt truly amazing.
It's handles. Oh yeah.
I am truly thankful to have the opportunity to harvest this buck. It will be different not seeing him on our scrapes every night, but taking the bully off the property will open the doors for new bucks in the future. I would like to thank Brack's Big Game for sponsoring us and giving us the nutrients we need to keep a healthy herd. Go check them out at the link below. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for all of our adventures. Be sure to follow us on Instagram for more content, link below.